Hello and welcome to the University of Texas at Arlington's first year advising presentation for the College of Education major. If you are here, you've newly been admitted to the university, and we'd like to go over what it takes for you to be successful at the university, as well as in the College of Education and towards your degree in education. Before we get started, let's go ahead and have you grab your cell phone because we'll ask you to use this a little bit later, and a pad of paper and a writing utensil so that you can take notes. There's going to be helpful information that we're going to cover for you. And the first thing I'd like for you to do is to write down or take a picture of the screenshot here, which is the email. It's uaeceducsocw@uta.edu. That is the email for you to get a hold of your first year advising team and of advisors. And if you have any questions, feel free to follow up with them at that email. Let's go ahead and get started. You should know that this presentation is going to cover a lot of different things. Let's start off with the list of majors under the College of Education. You'll see that there's two elementary level concentrations. One is elementary English as a second language, or ESL. That covers early childhood through grade 6. The second one is elementary bilingual, which again covers early childhood through grade 6. There are two concentrations for middle school or mid-level, which is mid-level English social studies concentration. That's an English language arts reading social studies, which covers grades 4 through 8. And a mid-level math science concentration, which would cover mathematics and science grades 4 through 8. There is a special education concentration, which would provide you the opportunity to teach from early childhood through 12th grade. And one that you'll not see listed here, which is for those of you who are interested in teaching at the high school level. That means that you're going to be needing to actually get the degree in the concentration in which you want to teach. So for example, if you are a want to teach biology, then you'll need to get a biology degree and then work with your advisors in the College of Education to ensure that you're taking the appropriate courses to get your certification in education to teach at the high school level. Let's go over some UTA terms. You'll hear these whether it's in the presentation or during your advising meeting with your first year advising team, as well as with your College of Education advisors and other offices throughout campus. I've already mentioned one of those things, which is the UAEC. That's the University Advising Engagement Center. That's our office. We are housed as first year advisors or at the FYA team in the UAEC. We are freshman advising team for traditional populations. That might mean that you just graduated high school or that you have recently graduated high school but taken less than 24 credit hours worth of work. Some important things that you'll need to know is your MyMav and MyUTA. This is the student portal where all of your information is, not only for your student record, but about courses, registering, financial aid, your grades, holds, and any other reason why your record might be flagged or you might access your record. Canvas is a learning management application that actually holds all your academic coursework and homework. Those of you who will be taking an online course. Online is typically taught via Canvas. Not all instructors at UTA will use Canvas, but most will. Additionally, I'll refer to a Canvas module at the end of the presentation, and your orientation requires for you to do pre-orientation modules through Canvas. Hours, Credits, credit hours, units are all about the same thing. You might hear these words being used interchangeably. This is not a measurement of time. It's really how much a course is worth on your transcript or how it's calculated in your GPA. Registration and enrollment is the same thing. We're basically looking at how you will choose to register into your new courses in MyMath and select them for each semester. We're going to ask you to register or enroll in your classes. Census date and drop deadlines are two dates that are referring to when it is the last time for you to register for classes and your schedule is locked in, or the last day for you to be able to drop a course without impacting your GPA. You'll see these actually listed on your academic calendar, and the academic calendar is easily accessible as we are a Google-friendly campus. So you can simply Google academic calendar UTA and you'll be able to access this information there. Course section refers to a specific time and date of a course. So when an advisor asks you which course section of English 1301 you're interested in, we're asking for the specific date and time. Each course section has a number that's identified with it, so when we ask you for this information, you'll know that that's what we're asking for. UNIV 1131, or the UNIV 1131 course, is the University Success course which is required for all new students. Some programs may use another course to fulfill this requirement, and in fact, education is one of them. Your UNIV course will actually be referred to as EDUC. It's an EDUC course and it has a specific course number. So it's included in your curriculum in order for you to graduate. And so don't get confused if you hear that you need to take a UNIV 1131 class. It is in fact the EDUC course number. The ALEX or ALEX is a math assessment which is used for upper level math courses. This is typically required for engineering, science, architecture, and business majors for the advisors to be able to advise for the appropriate math and science courses. You should know that College of Education does not require the ALEX, so you don't really need to worry about this. However, if you plan on teaching science or biology or even chemistry at the high school level, that will mean that you will be a science major, which will require the ALEX. TSI, or Texas Success Initiative, is a college readiness exam in reading, writing, and math. This is actually a state of Texas initiative and is requirement of a state law. So as a state institution, UT Arlington is required to reinforce this law, which means that if you do not pass the TSI or are considered TSI not complete in math or English or both, it would mean that UTA advisors would be required to have you enroll in a TSI course equivalent or developmental course in English and or math. Lastly, CAPS. CAPS refers to the Counseling and Psychological Services Office on UTA's campus. This actually is a resource that you have throughout the 4 years that you are a student at UTA or longer. And this is really an opportunity for you to take advantage of this office, whether it means that you just have one meeting or you have multiple meetings. This office is available to you so that you don't feel alone while you're on campus. Who is my advisor? That's a good question. So let's go ahead and take out your cell phone and take a picture of the QR code on the screen. The QR code will refer you to a advisor assignment video, and that video can be seen here on the screen as well. This will tell you how you can find out who your advisor is. This is actually within your MyMav, and you will also find out by simply Googling who is my advisor at UTA, and that will pop up for you. Let's talk about your pathway from the UAEC or first year advising to the College of Education. So you start here with us in the first year advising office. As I previously mentioned, first time in college students or recent high school graduates are students that we would advise in our office. This typically means that you have less than 30 credit hours worth of transferable coursework. Just because you are dual credit does not mean that you are a transfer student. Dual credit is actually a program that's done while you are in high school. So you kind of need to separate these things in your mind, and I'll go over this a little bit more in a moment. In order to transition, that's another UTA term, to the department, we're going to need you to meet specific requirements, and I'll go over those in a moment. Lastly, the last step is when you transition to the department, you actually will have major requirements. So in the College of Education, you will have to meet criteria that's formally declared to declare your major. For the College of Education, this education requirement would be a cumulative GPA of at least a 2.8. There are some additional requirements which are for you to be core complete and have some content courses that are required in order for you to be eligible to continue on in order to graduate from the College of Education. That's something that you would actually discuss with your College of Education advisor once you've been transitioned to the department. At this point, what you really need to worry about right now is simply knowing what you need to do to transition from first year advising to the College of Education. That transition criteria is listed here. Again, we require for you to hit a minimum of 30 credit hours. This can actually include the dual credit work or any transfer work that you might have done while you were in high school. You also need to establish a minimum cumulative GPA of at least a 2.0 or higher. When you have 30 credit hours and a 2.0 cumulative GPA, then at that point you will be transitioned to the department. You'll know this because you'll receive an email from the department as well as from our office congratulating you on your transition to the department. At that point, you would no longer work with us. You would work with your brand new advisor in the College of Education until you graduate. So let's talk about those previously earned credits. Previously earned credits can be established as dual credit work that you earned while you were in high school. Or it can be transfer credit while you that you earned while you attending another college or university. Credits are not accepted from high school transcripts. What does that mean? In other words, in order for you to get the credit that you did while whether it was dual credit or college credit, you need to make sure that you request official transcripts from that institution, whether it's a community college or another four-year institution, to be sent directly to UTA from that other school. You can do so by simply requesting an official transcript to be sent to us. Typically that's electronically, or if you need to request for a paper document, make sure that you keep it in the sealed envelope and that you hand it in to the Office of Admission here on campus. You need to make sure that that envelope remains sealed because otherwise it will not be considered official. You can check My UTA to confirm your credits have been applied to your record. And once you've confirmed those credits are applied to your record, they will be reflected in your degree plan via Mav Planner. If you're missing credits or if you have questions, simply contact your advisor for some additional assistance. Let's talk about test credit. That's AP, IB, CLEP, or Avant. AP scores have to be 3 or higher. So just because you took the AP class does not mean that you have the AP score. That would have required for you to pay to take the exam. If you have AP scores, you will need to go through College Board directly to request those scores to be sent to UTA. Again, we will not take scores off of your high school transcript. So in order for you to get those credits, please make sure that you request those scores to be sent directly to UTA from College Board. If you use your personal email or your high school email when you were taking the AP exam, please make sure that you know how to access it or reset your password in order to get access to those scores. The same thing for IB. IB is actually a organization that's separate from College Board. So if you have IB credits, please go through the IB org website so that you can request those scores to be sent directly to UTA. Those scores need to be 4s or higher in order for you to get the credit for that class. For CLEP is something that you really sort of need to speak with your advisor directly about. There are some course options that are available through CLEP, but not all of them are. This is a paid exam that you would need to pay for, and that is something that's separate. You can actually find out a little bit more about CLEP exams by simply Googling CLEP UTA, and you'll find that web page. Avant is actually a language placement exam. Currently, if you want to use the Avant stamp for credit, you will need to take the Avant stamp by August 1st if you want to seek the letter grade option. If you don't want to, then you don't need to worry about taking it by the 1st of August. You can simply arrange to take the Avant language placement. Again, you can Google this by simply Googling Avant UTA, and it'll bring you to the Avant page to find out more information. A couple of things that you want to remember is that you will actually need to accept this credit. So just because it's sent to the university does not mean that will actually be applied to your record. It will be in your record, but in order for the credits to be applied, you actually need to do something called claiming credit. So that's actually done through your MyMav, and you can work with your advisor to make sure that you're accepting the correct credit for your program. Before you do this, remember, talk with your advisor. It's really important that you make sure that when you're accepting the credit, that you accept the right classes. It'll make more sense once you talk to your advisor. So there are some drawbacks of dual credit and test credit. First thing that you need to know, earning college credit in high school is a great advantage, but it can also be a challenge. So if you have taken some dual credit or test credit, that basically means that you have credit that will allow you to jump straight into some upper level coursework. That also means that your course load might be a little bit more rigorous than what you might be used to. A benefit, yeah, it will give you a faster academic transition, but it also may mean that you're skipping some foundational coursework, which may leave some knowledge gaps. It also means that you might have some limited flexibility. In other words, you might have fewer options for less demanding classwork, and it may mean that it'll jump you right into some more demanding major specific classes. It may also mean that you don't necessarily get a break because if you're having to take more upper level coursework, then in order for you to kind of meet your full-time status, it means that you're taking just solid coursework that's upper level and not having some kind of easier A's or B's in your schedule. Lastly, it kind of impacts your pacing and your readiness. Just because you have the credit doesn't always mean that you're fully prepared for the next level. So talk with your advisor to find out how to really benefit from your dual credit and test credit. Let's think 30. Still have your phones? Take those out and take a picture of the QR code. The QR code will actually bring you to a Think 30 video. It will explain it in a little bit more animated way about why it's important to think 30. When it comes to thinking 30, we're really talking about having about 30 credits each year. If we do the math, 30 credits times 4 years basically means 120 credit hours. That's typically what it means to graduate in 4 years. There's a couple of benefits here. It can boost your success. So students who enroll in 15 credit hours per semester are more likely to graduate on time. Did you know that if you do 15 credits, it's typically around the same cost as 12 credit hours, which is just the bare minimum to get full time? Get the most out of your tuition by doing 15 credits an hour. Additionally, if you're on a scholarship, you may need to hit 30 credit hours each year. So if you're taking 15 each semester, it keeps you on pace to be eligible for your scholarships. And then lastly, as I previously mentioned, by doing 30 credit hours each year, it keeps you on track to graduate in 4 years, saving time and money. So let's talk about barriers to registration. A couple of things that might keep you from registering is if you have any outstanding TSI requirements. I talked about TSI at the beginning. Talk to your advisor to find out, or if you need to, reach out to the TSI team, which is at tsi@uta.edu. Another barrier, if you're missing official transcripts or official test scores. We need official documents in order for this to be officially applied to your student record. So even after you've graduated, just because we have a transcript that you sent in with your application doesn't mean that we have the final high school transcript. That would include this last semester that you might be in right now as you're watching this video. Also, it also means if you have any college or university community college credits, you'll need to request those official transcripts to be sent to UTA in order for that credit to be applied to your record. As I mentioned, the ALEX assessment is not necessarily required for the educational um, degrees in the College of Education, but if you need to major in, let's say, a science, then you will need to take the ALEX in order for you to be properly advised for your math and science courses. Enrollment preventing holds, you can actually find these on your to-do list. So in your MyMav, check your to-do list because there may be some holds that might be preventing you from being able to register for classes. Feel free to take a screenshot of the QR code on the screen, which will also talk about account holds. Waitlist. There are some pros and cons about the waitlist. Let's talk about the pros. Yep, it might give you a chance to get into a full class if someone drops, but that's only if someone drops. Notice there's only one pro. The rest are cons. So, number one, if you're waitlisted for a class, there is absolutely no guarantee that you're going to get into that class. 99% of the time, classes typically will not open additional seats. So if you're on the wait list, you're not in the class. The lower you are on the wait list, the less likely you are to be added. So get this, if you're on a wait list, but a spot opens and I happen to be registering for the same class, I can take that spot before you get off the wait list. Why? Well, wait lists happen overnight. So if I happen to be in the middle of the day seeing the spot available, I can get that spot before you can get off the wait list. I know it's not fair, but that's how the system works. You might also miss other available classes due to being on the wait list. So I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, Rate My Professor. Using Rate My Professor does not always guarantee you a best instructor experience. That's like me rating you on the 5 seconds that I've met you. That's also like you rating me on the 5 seconds that you've met me. It may not always be the best experience, but take a class with an instructor that you might not find on Rate My Professor. it may turn out to be a really great experience. Also, if you're on a wait list and you want to enroll in another section of the same class, remember I explained class sections to you? Well, guess what? The system won't let you do that. It won't allow you to bypass the fact that you're on a wait list. So you can't be waitlisted and then try to register for the same class but a different section. Waitlisted courses don't count towards your credit hours. So if you need 30 credit hours for your scholarship and you're waitlisted for a class, just because you're waitlisted, that does not count towards your total credit hours that you will need for your scholarship. So be careful. Don't assume that because you're on a wait list, you're going to get off of it and get the credit hours that you need for your scholarship. Best practice, always, always, always consult with your advisor. It's really important. That's what we're there for. Okay, couple of dates you want to remember. By the way, you can Google all of these by simply going UTA academic calendar. Registration ends Friday, August 15th at 4 p.m. This is the last chance that you have to drop all of your classes without any costs. It's also the last day right before classes start. So Monday, August 18th is first day of classes for the fall 2025 semester. And then lastly, we mentioned that late registration and that last day to sort of lock in your schedule. That would be also Monday, August 18th through Friday, August 22nd. Again, you can find these dates on the academic calendar page. Okay, let's take your phone out, take another picture of the QR code. QR code will actually direct you to the advising short course, which is on Canvas. I mentioned this to you before. So again, a couple of things you want to remember. Do you need to take the ALEX? Yes or no? Remember, if you're going to actually teach at the high school level a science course, you probably will need to take the ALEX. Don't forget to send official scores and test scores. Complete the advising short course if you haven't done so. Address any holds that are preventing your registration. Don't forget to check your UTA email account for advising emails, and those are usually within 2 to 3 business days. Summer is our busiest season, so that's actually going to be a little bit longer. It's probably about a week out that you'll get your email for your advising and your advising classes. Don't forget to register for classes right away, as classes will fill up. So the sooner that you can do it, the better options you will have. So let's talk about my UTA in Canvas. This is super Google friendly. Again, just simply Google my UTA or UTA Canvas, and you can find this information that way. Or you can go to the main UTA webpage, go to the very top. You'll see in small print the words current students. Click on that, and that will actually get you the screenshot towards the bottom. You'll see different icons listed for my UTA, Canvas, your UTA email box, IT help, and MyMav. These are all important icons that you will need throughout the 4 years that you're at UTA, especially the Outlook, which is your email, and your Canvas and your MyMav, my UTAs. So let's take a closer look at the advising email that you're going to find in your Outlook from your advisor. This is what you will see on the left-hand side of the screen. It will be a listing of your classes, a reminder to think 30, and any additional reminders that your advisor might think are important for you. Next thing, you will actually log into your MyMav to go ahead and actually register for your classes. So one of the things that you will see are course sections. I talked about them previously, but again, the course section refers to the time and the day that the class is being offered. So the examples, let's say you're seeing section 1 and section 2. Section 1 is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Section 2 is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're the same days, but it's different times. Section 1 is offered from 10 to 10:50, and Section 2 is offered from 11 to 11:50. So sections can be different in the following ways. It's either the physical location where it's being offered. So it may be from the business building to the fine arts building. It's different in days and times. It might differ in instructors. It'll also differ in the way that it's taught. Sometimes it might be taught in person, or another time it might be taught online. Enrollment requirements also are important for you to keep in mind. If you're an honors student or for specific majors where it's reserved sections, that might be an enrollment requirement difference. Let's look at enrollment requirements. So when you're looking at enrollment requirements, the way that you want to see this is by simply clicking on the hyperlink of the class number and the class section. That's an actual hyperlink. That's why it's in blue. That will actually open up a smaller window, which will refer to the enrollment information. You'll notice in that highlighted area that this particular section, section 3, is actually restricted to honor students only. So that's why you might not be able to register for that section. Keep these things in mind. So next steps, open your advising email in Outlook, use the QR code in the lab with how-to videos, and then register for classes. So feel free to take your phone again and click on the QR code here for some assistance. All right, keep your phone out because I've got another QR code. Take a picture of this QR code. This is actually a how to register video. And this is going to be super helpful and really quick for you to sort of see how this actually works. Lastly, keep your phone out because a great way for you to keep in touch with us and connected is through the UAEC UTA Instagram page. So this is our Insta. Take a picture of the QR code so that you can get connected. All right, we've come to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our advising team in the first year advising office. So again, you can do so by utilizing the UAEC EDUC SOCW at uta.edu email, and we'll be excited to work with you throughout the time that you're with us in first year advising at UTA. Thanks for your time.